Competition, it's a staple of human nature, and we see it everywhere in social circles, in schools, in sports, and even in literature. But why? Why are humans so predisposed to being competitive, and why are some a lot more than others? Welcome to Facts in 5, the series that covers the coolest and most interesting facts on a topic in 5 minutes or less. Today we're covering competition, a fundamental part of human nature, yet also something that very few of us have ever actually questioned, despite it being a part of our everyday lives. So get ready to learn a lot more about yourself and that friend that is just so competitive, because this is Facts in 5, all about competition. What is the reason competition exists? Competition has occurred naturally for millions of years between simple organisms as a survival mechanism. When organisms or animals had to fight for a resource like food or space, their natural instincts kicked in and a competition for that particular thing began. But competition is defined as the exact opposite of cooperation. So how could it be that we still feel a drive, a desire to be better than the next guy? Why is it that we revel in seeing others compete? Why do we feel jealousy? Well, that brings us to, why do we still engage in competition? It's believed that competition is invoked by a part of the brain called the anterior cingulate cortex. It's possible that by that part of the brain remaining active as we evolved, it continued to do its job by keeping us alive, by keeping us competitive. But we aren't in survival mode anymore. I mean, nobody is fighting each other in the streets to see who gets the last lamb chop. So because of that, it's logical that something else would need to take the place of the things that we needed for survival. We simply started to look for other things to compete over. Something that wasn't resource-based, maybe something more social. Where can we see competition? In more places than you might realize. In fact, it exists in almost every aspect of society because it exists in every one of us. As a kid, you probably worked your butt off for a test because you knew that if your grades were good enough, you'd get the reward from your parents instead of your sibling. In the office, you work long hours for that promotion because you deserve that raise way more than Sarah. Sarah sucks, doesn't she? Think about the next election. How badly do you think they all want to be president or prime minister? Yeah, pretty bad. We watch sports for entertainment because it's two teams competing for the win. And believe it or not, it even exists in literature where literary competitions have increasingly become a means for aspiring writers to gain recognition. Who is most competitive? Today, we compete for more than just resources. Wealth, prestige, and fame have become primary motivators for many societies in today's world. And while we all compete for these things to some degree, some of us have a tendency towards extreme unhealthy competition, which is a trait called hypercompetitiveness. We all know someone like this. Those with this trait have highly aggressive personality types and will try to win at all costs as a mean of maintaining their self-worth. They can turn any activity into a competition and will actually feel threatened if they feel themselves losing. Yeah, some of y'all need to relax. I've seen these people. It's just, they get a little bit crazy. When will competition end for us? The truth is, perhaps never. We may never lose that evolutionary trait for competitiveness. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. See, being competitive allows us to push ourselves beyond what we previously thought we were capable of. And in working hard and preparing for whatever that competition is that life threw at us, we often find ourselves in a place of self-discovery, a place of growth, and overall betterment of ourselves. And that is a good thing. I want to give a big thanks to my friends at FanDuel for inspiring the topic of today's video. FanDuel is the leader in 1-week fantasy football for real money with immediate cash payouts and no season-long commitment. It's a lot of fun. You can challenge your friends or others on the site from anywhere. Your iPhone app, your tablet, or your desktop. Contests start at just $1, but you can play for as much as you want, and if you win real money. In fact, this coming year, FanDuel will be paying out over $75 million a week in fantasy football winnings alone. So if you're interested in a little friendly competition, click the link in the description and use the promo code, which is good for a deposit match of up to $200. I recently got to play around with it, and it's actually a lot of fun. Give it a shot. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Facts in 5. Please click that like button if you enjoyed this, and be sure to leave a comment below letting me know what the next topic is that I should cover in Facts in 5. Don't forget to click that red subscribe button to be notified of future videos on my channel. On the right, you'll find an annotation to my last video as well as an annotation to my second channel where I make vlogs, unboxings, and much more, so be sure to subscribe to that. And you'll also find an annotation to my merch store where you can pick up wristbands, cool shirts, and all kinds of stuff to look fly. And as always, for those of you watching on your phone or tablet, all of the links I just mentioned will be in the description below. I love you guys, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. Peace!